Hopefully this will work better. We're gonna try this. There's the jig we just tied. Let's try to tie a few more. You guys, in a minute, tell me what your favorite jig is so far. What we're doing is we're taking about, I think this is a 020, maybe 035, I don't know. Anyway, it's some lead wire. We're gonna take about 2 inches of it, cut it off. Now that we got it cut off, we're gonna go and I'm just gonna wrap it around the shank of this hook. Wish we had some glue, but we don't today anyway. And what we can do is just roll this up on here. Just got a little grip on it now. That's getting pretty hard to slide up the shank of the hook, so we might as well slide it as far as we can. And there we go. Then we'll just finish wrapping that out. So we're keeping a smaller profile and we're adding more weight to get us to the bottom quicker. We're back. That's right, Butler. I hope it's I hope the audio is coming back through. Let's see if I can get you guys closer. Now you can see that lead wrap all the way down the shank of that hook. So that should add some good weight to it for when the crappie are deep. I don't know. I know a lot of guys that vertical jig and they'll just drop it down to a certain depth and they'll find a depth where they're catching fish. They'll mark their line or they'll just know by how many strips they pull out. I don't do it like that. I'm not very good at sitting still. I have ADHD or whatever. And so what I like to do is I'll drop it all the way to the bottom and I'll reel it back up painfully slow. And sometimes a smaller jig, this is a 32nd. We're gonna tie some even smaller. This is a 64th of an ounce, I believe. Let me double check and make sure I don't want to be lying to you guys. Some of them are, yeah, this is a 64th. I've got some smaller. I just want to verify. But with these small jig heads, you want to keep, you're trying to keep a small profile on your bait. Sometimes that's what it takes to get bit. But it takes forever for this jig to make it down because it's so light. But you can keep a smaller profile by getting lead core line and wrapping that around the shank of your hook before you tie your jig, so you can use that smaller jig and get down deep and keep the smaller profile. So we're in the testing phases of it now. We've never really done it that much. We've tied some weighted jigs, but not like what we're doing now, not for crappie or nothing. And if you're a casting fisherman, you're casting a bobber and a cork or whatever, that lead would get you more weight without using split shot. These have got to be personal. You guys, anyone that's ever been in one of my giveaways, they know I like to cement everything in with super glue. If I'm giving them away, I like them to be guaranteed to either catch fish or get lost in a brush pile, not fall apart catching fish. Hopefully we can do some giveaways this week. I've just been working so much, I haven't been able to do this. I haven't been able to focus on any on YouTube. Nibrick Kappa, hello. Let's see if we can sneak that in there. There we go. What I like to do when I'm crappie fishing though is I'll drop my jigs all the way to the bottom, or I'll drop them down to an area where I feel like I'm catching fish, or to where I am catching fish, and then I'll reel it back up painfully slow. I mean painfully, excruciatingly slow. I'll reel it up so painfully slow, and usually I get my crappie coming up because they feed up. And so if you got a bait moving really slow up, it's in front of their face for a long time. And I just feel like that upward travel of a jig increases strikes. And there's several times I've been at the dock where everybody else is dead sticking or fishing with minnows. And I'll be reeling my jigs, and like I said, I'll reel them painfully slow, drop them to the bottom, bring them up. And so that fish watched that jig potentially fall to the bottom and then come back up painfully slow. And I just feel like that minnow swimming free range, swimming up like that in the water column, increases or triggers strikes. I like it a lot. It's my favorite method for catching crappie besides casting. I'm casting fisherman, but I mostly fish below spillways and stuff, so dead sticking and stuff like that's typically not an option. That's how I grew up fishing. Where am I from? I'm from Oklahoma. My Moge Craft. I don't know. That lead caught my knot, pinched it off. So I better be easy. I usually kind of crank on them when I'm tying the knots, but it got down between that lead and it wanted to snap off there. So we'll tie 3 on that one instead of just 2. Let's have a look at that jig. Pretty good looking. Brendan Marquise, what's up? Mine Moge Craft. No, you're good. It's a pretty slick little jig. I like it. We're gonna tie one more. Of that. Well, we're gonna tie a bunch of them with this gray chenille and these gray feathers because I'm trying to get some shad pattern jigs in my box. But I want to tie a few with this gold head with that lead core wrap too. And really, before I just tie a bunch of jigs, I'm trying to get a few to go test out on the water. So I'm gonna tie like 3 or 4 of each one, probably 4, so that way my wife will have some when we're out fishing. Be selfish to only tie 2 or 3 for myself, and then me end up catching a bunch of fish and her not being able to fish with the same jig, huh? That'd be horrible. So we're gonna go about 2 inches of lead core. So we're gonna have that small profile jig head, but we're gonna have the extra weight from the lead core. Kind of hard to get started on this little bitty hook. But there we go. All right, we got about 3 wraps on there. See if I can hold it still with this pick. And we got it. I'm gonna take some pictures and post this to some big groups on Facebook. And we may order some more of this lead core, but I want some a little bit heavier, like a 0.45 diameter lead core. Then we'll mark these winter/summer box, because you know in the summer they can be deep. And outside your door, please open the door for me. You're crazy. Get all those rolls stacked up tight. You just kind of press it over. That's pretty tight. All right, now we're gonna go ahead and hit it with some thread. Kind of lock it in. That thread lays down weird over the. Oh no. Yeah, it started pushing the thread wrapping up by that jig head, started pushing my lead. Apparently we're gonna have to hold it still while we do this. Let's see. We may even start out in the middle. Just get some wraps around it and then work our way back down. This is where the super glue would come in clutch. There we go. That should stop it from rolling. All right, now we're gonna hit it with some feathers. Some really short feathers. And let's see. I need to remember what brand of marabou this was. It was really, those are probably the best feathers I've ever had. I'll show you the difference, what I'm comparing them to in a minute. Okay. We'll see if we can get some more to lay on there. I'll clean that up. If you burn those extra feathers off, make sure you hand carbine. There we go. Cut that wild one out of there. Let's get it wrapped up with some chenille and see what she looks like, the final product. I'm gonna have to twist it around and get the feathers right. They don't want to cover as well, but I don't want to make them too thick of a tail either. They don't want to cover up quite exactly perfect with that lead core. But like I said, we're in the testing phase of this process anyway. Clean that up. Okay, there we go. That first knot, I also have to remember to kind of go loose or it'll get caught between the rolls of lead. So we'll just keep tying 3 knots on all the lead core ones too. All right, there's our final product. Let's take a look at it. I like the way the feathers cover. It's a pretty good looking jig. I think it'll catch a lot of fish. Kind of anxious to use it. Now we'll put those 3, or we'll make 3 of those. 3 should be plenty. No, we'll make 3 more, so that way the wife has 2 and I have 2. So if we lose any, we'll manage to make it. This lead, it adds a whole nother step into the process, so it takes a little bit longer to tie a jig, but I think it'll be worth it. I'll tie up 1 or 2 of these without the lead in it off camera, just that way I can take them outside and put them on some 4-pound tests and try them out. See what casting distance I can get. Tournament bass fishermen use this lead core for making lures like crankbaits and stuff heavier. Cut off a little too much that time. We're going to try to start from this end and wrap the thread, so that way it'll push the lead towards the head of the jig instead of pulling it away like we were earlier. We'll give that a try. Yeah, I like that a lot better. Sometimes that's just part of the process, learning. I wanted to show you guys one of these feathers before I forget. I mentioned it a minute ago. The way that the feathers normally come, like you'll get a pack of feathers and see, and these ones are pretty good, but you see how like long it is, and then it's not as dense as this feather. This feather's way more dense. It's shorter. It's almost like this was plucked out before it was fully became a down feather, and this one's got a thicker stem in the middle, or whatever you call that thing in the middle of a feather. Anyway, this feather's a better quality than this feather, just because the way how thick it is, how dense it is. I don't remember where I got those feathers at, but I sure wish I did. They're really nice. I don't know if that's a thread or what. Hell yeah, Butler Outdoors. That's awesome. I appreciate it. Yeah, adding this lead core definitely is killing my speed. But we're gonna find out how worth it is. So another very good looking jig. So that's 2 of those. We need 2 more. I still want to tie some of these orange jigs and the pink ones as well. But I have a feeling that this weekend that this is going to be the money maker right here. So hopefully I get them heavy enough to just tie on one at a time. I usually run 2 hooks, so what I'll do is this is going to be the heavy one. I'll run it on the bottom. This has no lead core, and it's a white profile with white tail. I'll run it on the top hook, so this one will pull the 2 64th ounce jig heads down really fast, or faster in theory. Weight is weight. I wish I had some scales so I could figure out how much weight I'm adding with this wire. Like I said, I want to get some 045 wire. I would like to try that. Some lead wire. Then I need to get some scales so I can figure out what the weights are. Not that it's important if it does the job it's intended to do. Not very important at all what the weight is. Holding it still is being a pain in the butt. Sometimes it rolls up real easy and sometimes it doesn't. I also feel like with the 045 wire, it'll be easier to get the wraps on there, but it'll also be less wraps because it's a thicker wire. We'll start out down here. Dang. I'm all over the place today, guys. There we go. Okay. I've had this chenille since I first got this kit, so it's lasted me quite a while. Made a lot of jigs with it. And I got ideas for not necessarily suspending crappie jigs, but jigs that sink really slow as well. Where you could use a bigger style jig head and still get it to fall slow. But we'll go over that in the future because that's for a different kind of video. Video where you want a bigger profile jig, but you want it to fall slower. Dang. I got caught between that lead. That ain't no good. Let me see what I can do here. I can probably clean that knot up with the scissors. That was that first knot I was telling you guys I have to be careful or I'll get it caught between that lead wrap. I'm still so new at tying those lead wrapped ones. I'm not used to tying that first knot easy. It gets binded up between the wraps and it gets caught on me. We got a little bit more speed out of that one. But looking good. Looking real good. One more of those and we're gonna switch over to some other types. I finally got me a little station. I was doing this on the kitchen table. That wasn't worth a dang. I finally got a little area that is set up just for tying these jigs. I got better lighting. I'm still obviously figuring it out as we go. Now I've got this angle on these jigs. So hopefully we'll do better. Like I said, it's hard to get it. I got big fingers and these are little bitty hooks. Let's do that for a minute. There we go. When I get some super glue, this will be so much better. But these shouldn't fall apart either for the fishing I'm going to be doing. They should hold pretty good. Pretty good. We got some lead core on there. We got that done. Last one of this style. The bigger ones are easier for me to tie. I got big old sausage fingers, so. Let's see what she looks like. Oh, that lead core just slipped on me. No. No. I may have to buy some super glue and just super glue them at the head. Like I said, we know these are experimental. These are really their first run, so some failure to be expected. I think we wouldn't have had any failures if I'd have had some super glue, but we don't, so there's that. That's 4 of those. Thank God we're done with those. Let's jump onto some of these orange ones. I'm going to be fishing at the dam, and so there's potentially going to be possibility for white bass. Let's see what this gray looks like on this orange jig head. You know, orange and chartreuse, white bass kind of like that stuff. I almost need another bobbin for like how I got for the thread. It would almost be beneficial to have one for lead. I don't know how well it would run through there. It would save me a lot of time on this end of it, if it ran right. But if I can get that little needle buried down in there, then I can get it to wrap pretty tight. And it wants to bite better on this painted jig heads versus that gold one, because they just gold plated the shank of the hook and the head of the hook at the same time, and that gold finish is really slick. This paint, the lead bites into it a lot better. Like, it ain't slipping. I can't just, you know, twist it like that and roll it up either. I have to manually wrap it on the paint, and then it's kind of a pain in the butt to get it to slide too. Like to get it to slide up towards the head. Yeah, I see that whole hook wanted to move in the vise. Yeah, it doesn't want to move at all. Let's see. There it went. We got it to slide, but it didn't want to. So I think it'll stick a lot better. As far as not having any glue today, the painted jig heads will still perform good. That lead bites down into the paint and it holds a tighter wrap. What are you doing in a bathing suit, you ding dong?
Nothing.
It's winter time, silly.
I don't care.
You're
Come up here to play.
You came up here to play?
Yeah.
Have you been having fun down at Grandma's?
Yeah. And I heard that you were being...
Me?
Yes.
Well, I don't know about that.
Dad, look.
Yep.
Look, and look what I got.
I see that.
I got the one with blue hair. Put your hands down. Put you in here. Michael, look. Look, watch this.
That's pretty cool.
It goes down and up. Look,
I see that.
let's take her out and put her in a racing car.
You okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, Dad, they're bumping cars. So, Dad, guess what?
What, baby?
The pink one's supposed to be the end, and the blue one is supposed to be the end.
Yeah?
So they're bumping cars because the driving steering wheel is at the front of the other side of it.
No way.
So we look, Dad, watch.
Hang on, baby.
What are you doing?
Tying jigs.
Why?
Because I'm live on YouTube tying jigs.
Why?
Because I like tying jigs.
Why do you like to go live?
Because
What's so special about it?
anyways, guys, that's a wrap for now. I'm gonna come start doing these lives more frequently, at least for the next week. Hope you guys catch a bunch of fish. Hope everybody got to learn something if you tie jigs. If not, maybe you got a buddy that does and you can pass the tip on to him. Anyways, for now, I'm out, y'all.